Welcome to our first podcast episode. It's been a very long time. I started doing podcasts on crypto and financial markets back in 2022. Took a massive break as I scaled my brand and done pretty well from investing. And now, with the market being quite painful and boring, I want to bring to your attention a new thesis I have. A view that I have which will send crypto to its next major bull market. And some of you may think, stop here, Dan. Right now, how the hell are we going to go into a bull market? And that is where I come in with this unique thesis. So stay tuned, make sure you watch it all, let's get it. So right now, Bitcoin, if you go on the monthly charts, and we're not trying to analyze this like a trader, we're trying to look from a macro perspective. Bitcoin is at its monthly EMA here, and it's absolutely nuked from the highs, right? You can see we made highs in October of 126K, and we've already dropped 50% in such a small period of time. So everybody's saying, bear market on max pain. And they might be right, but let me show you what max pain means when we start with Bitcoin. So maximum pain would be history repeating, where you get these 1 to 2 year bear markets. And every bear market lasts roughly 350 days. And the bear market starts from the all-time high. So if we were to get the worst case scenario, Bitcoin will drop to 38K in October this year. So that's another 41% drop, which is very painful for altcoins, very painful for crypto. However, that is the worst case. I just want to make you aware of that before we go into the good news. So worst case, history repeats and we go down to 38K and we start recovering next year. In a better scenario, we have a new Fed chairman coming in May. And the Fed chairman is basically the head of the US central bank. They determine interest rates and monetary policy. And normally, when you get interest rate cuts, you see markets move up most of the time, not always, because it creates more liquidity in financial markets and it takes pressure away from the consumer because consumers are in debt, companies are in debt. If the interest rates are high, you're paying more interest on the debt, you have less free capital, and money across banks moves slower. So in that scenario, we actually recover in the second half of the year and make a bottom between now and April to May. Probably April, I would guess. And that's the better case scenario. We may see something like this, a drop to 53K, maybe even 48K, and then start moving up again and doing what people don't expect, because everyone's expecting us to follow this 4-year cycle and, do something like this here, which is possible. However, if we are getting rate cuts, which we've been told we are, and if liquidity does move up, then I would assume that we actually recover in the second half of the year as a better scenario. And you can see Bitcoin bottom sooner in the next couple of months and then start moving up, hopefully into new all-time highs. So it's one of or the other. I just want to make you aware of where Bitcoin's at. So that's Bitcoin, and that's what that means for crypto. Now, if we move on to the cycles, every cycle has lasted roughly 1,064 days from the bear market bottom to the bull market top. We saw this here, we saw this here, and we actually saw it this time. So this time history repeated in terms of Bitcoin going from a low to a high. So we do have to be aware of the worst case scenario and admit that this is definitely possible, right? And I want to start with the Bitcoin cycle to tell you what time frame I'm thinking on. So this thesis I'm going to bring to your attention is going to be something that happens either second half of this year or 2027 going into 2028. And the reason why it's important is because crypto is cheap now and it's going to continue to be cheaper in the next couple of months, which is a great time to start buying, in my opinion. And the reason why I think it's a great time to start buying is something called Anthropic. Anthropic is a company, and they've just built an AI agent called OpenClaw. And this agent can do most human jobs. I actually have one myself that I program. It writes all of my content, it books holidays for me, and it does everything without me laying a finger. And most people aren't aware of what this is. People who are chronically online like myself, we know what this is. But if you don't know what this is, it's basically the reason why the stock market has been dropping so aggressively recently. Because this AI agent can do the job of million-dollar companies for a fraction of a cost. So why would you want to learn a language on Duolingo, for example, when you can just use this AI agent that can teach you personally? People are starting to say that, which is why stocks like Duolingo have collapsed. And now they're saying it's about IBM, which I'm going to show you soon. But this company is the reason why I'm bullish on crypto. All AI agents are fully automated AI bots that do tasks for you based on a prompt. So with ChatGPT, you ask for it to just give you text, for example. Whereas this actually does physical things for you. It can do the work for you, like an assistant at work would do. It's very apparent that AI agents are running the media narrative right now. IBM, massive tech company, stocks dropped 13% after Anthropic AI, the agent, targets that code, which is the code that this provides to companies. So it's replacing it for cheaper, you can see. And at the moment, it's just fear. It's not necessarily justified, but we've got these big companies losing billions of dollars in value because of AI agents. And then we go into this. So you've got AI agents are a big deal. And then you've got 42% of college graduates are underemployed, the highest level since 2020. And in the UK where I am, youth unemployment is at pretty much an all-time high, highest in over a decade. Young people are applying for hundreds of jobs and not getting them. And I know this for a fact because some of my family members are in the same situation. So you've got a job market which isn't hiring young people because the economy isn't great at the moment. And also because you have AI doing tasks at a fraction of a cost. So bear in mind, AI agents is the tech that is going to change the world. And then it makes you think, what do unemployed humans do? And the simple answer is they probably get put on a furlough system where they get paid from the productivity the AI creates. Because if you have AI workers, they don't work 10 hours and ask for a lunch break. They work 24 hours. So if AI was to replace some jobs, we would see productivity increase to a level never seen before. Because GDP is basically person multiplied by hours work multiplied by pay kind of thing. And that is your GDP. That's how you measure the economy. Hours of work will turn to 24 hours. So as a result, you can see that AI will increase GDP dramatically at some point sooner than we think. And when that happens, or even before that happens, less humans are going to have jobs. They're going to be on furlough, bored at home. And what do people do when they're bored at home? They search for meaning, or they gamble. They want to make more money. They want to invest their money to turn that into more, with hopes of getting on the property ladder, or with hopes of traveling to a different country where they don't have to deal with this, or whatever the hell they want to do. So that's where we're going. I know that sounds very futuristic and very 10 years down the line, but it's already happening behind the scenes. We're already seeing it get priced into the stock market. And even if this doesn't happen yet, AI agents are still going to be used because the technology is insane and it's cheaper to use than a human. If we look at this is my whole thesis. 1,100 AI agents running loose in an on-chain agent market. In 48 hours, they made 485k requests, 378k market observations, 102k trades, and would have been $165 million in volume if it was real Ethereum. So all you're seeing here, guys, in this, with the music, is AI agents trading on chain. And the reason this is crazy is they're trading because humans are telling them to trade and what to trade. And they're constantly improving on their trading strategy. But what does this do? It effectively creates new crypto users that aren't humans. So every bull market in crypto, every time we've moved up in price, you can see, you can't see here, but I can tell you for a fact, the reason why the highs kept getting higher every 4 years is because more users were coming to crypto. More users were buying Bitcoin, right? And this remained true in this cycle. More users were buying Bitcoin, more money was flowing in. However, when you look at a coin like Cardano, you can see all-time high, more users, all-time high, not an all-time high. And this is very similar to a lot of charts. We couldn't break the all-time high because there are already millions of users in crypto. Retail were poor, and we are retail. Like at the end of the day, you're thinking, when is retail going to come into crypto? When are we going to get new people coming in? Crypto has already been adopted at a massive rate. So you wouldn't see these kind of growth cycles unless you can onboard 1 million new users or millions of new users. And those new users are AI. They will be buying crypto, they will be selling crypto, they will be trading crypto 24 hours a day, these agents. And you might think I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. This is already happening. It's already being built before our very eyes, and people are too bum hurt about being down on their portfolios to take any notice. So what we're going to see next is AI agents come to crypto, millions of them. They will be trading for you 24 hours a day. But why would they be trading on crypto? Well, the answer is simple. Traditional banks are too slow. Traditional banks are too expensive per transaction. If they're making millions of transactions per day, it's not feasible for the banks. Banks need your face, ID, and your KYC. AI can't give that. People don't trust AI with their bank accounts. Why do you want an AI bot to be in your bank account? Because it may make a mistake and run off of your money if it has different intentions or if it's been corrupted and programmed a certain way. So what do? You give it the one thing that doesn't affect your whole life, a crypto wallet. You choose how much is on that crypto wallet, and the AI agent runs off of the crypto wallet, and it will be trading in stablecoins or Solana. And the beauty of stablecoins and Solana, stablecoins aren't regulated like banks. You can send them on Solana from A to B in a matter of seconds for a fraction of the cost of banks. So it's faster and it's cheaper. So that's what we're going to see. A bunch of AI agents on Solana, Ethereum, Base, all of the ETH layer 2s, trading, optimizing things for humans, and you will basically manage the risk management, telling the AI what to do. But what this does is it creates more volume on chain. Like I said, if these things are trading 24 hours a day, we're going to see millions and billions of volume on the blockchain, which will be more than we've ever seen. We can't compete with things that trade 24 hour. And every time they make a trade on Solana, Solana gets a portion of the fee, even if it's a small amount. Ethereum gets a big portion of the fee. And you know where I'm going with this. The likes of Solana, Ethereum, and all of the platforms this AI uses will be making more revenue in fees. And when they make more revenue, they become more attractive. And we've seen that this bull market with Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid is a perp dex. They made a ton of revenue and it became the hottest thing in the cycle. Crypto is past the point of thinking, one day is it going to replace the internet? I don't think it will necessarily. And I don't think that matters. I think it's where will it have its next major use case that brings on the next $1 million users? We had NFTs. We had meme coins. And the next thing is quite obviously AI agents. They will be running riots, trading for humans. You may even be able to tokenize them and that may be the new meme coins, but I'm not trying to make money from meme coins here. I'm trying to tell you what are the best things to buy right now if I'm correct about this scenario. And I genuinely believe I am. AI agents are coming to crypto, guys. So if you're buying these companies now or these tokens now, you have a potential 10 to 20x return on investment from here. Because I genuinely believe we're going to see the biggest crypto bubble of all time. And like I said, it may not be tomorrow. It might be in 2028, or it might be sooner. But you've seen my scenarios. My scenarios are simple. This may begin second half of this year going into 2027, or worst case, it starts beginning in 2027 and starts thriving in 2028. And you might think, what's the point in listening to this if it's that long? Well, you can always just go back to crypto in 27 and make no money and call it a scam again, instead of making 10x gains. And I feel like this is the next bubble that makes the AI stock bubble look like nothing, because you're creating a whole new human race and giving them the means to trade with volume we've never seen before. And they're going to make profit from trading. They're going to be skilled. That's why we're going to use them. So they're going to create value out of thin air, and that's going to create a liquidity positive effect on the crypto market. So now I want to answer the question, how do we benefit from this? And which assets are the best crypto assets to make profit on this? I think Ethereum is an obvious one that I'd like to talk about, because Ethereum has a load of layer 2s. Ethereum's the layer 1, the base layer, which people trade on. But the problem is Ethereum's too expensive to trade on, so it won't facilitate these AI agents. But there are layer 2s on there, which are faster chains built on Ethereum, and the value still accrues to Ethereum. So you have stuff like Base, Arbitrum, Optimism. I believe we'll see AI bots built on there, and Ethereum will benefit massively because you're going to see record volume on Ethereum, more than NFTs, and that will create new all-time highs for Ethereum, most likely. The biggest beneficiaries from a tech standpoint from AI agents trading is the layer 1 blockchains. It's the ones which have the block space. The AI agents will need block space to trade on, and they'll be trading on top of that chain, whether it's Ethereum, Solana, and then they'll make the money, like I said. These are the NVIDIAs of this. Those of you who don't know what NVIDIA means, in the stock market, we've seen a massive run up in AI stocks. And NVIDIA is the biggest company in the stock market and the biggest grower. It did a 20x because every company that needed AI for development needed NVIDIA chips. So you needed NVIDIA. It's not a choice. You needed NVIDIA to build out the future of AI. In this scenario, the AI agents need Ethereum, they need Solana, because they need platforms to trade on that can handle their volume and that can move at the speed of light and that are battle tested in the past to deal with millions of transactions. And Ethereum kind of is, it's very secure. So maybe for more secure transactions and sensitive stuff, we'll see AI agents trade on there, which makes it one of the NVIDIAs of this, one of the top performers. And then we have Solana, which in my opinion will benefit the most. Solana handled millions of transactions in meme coins at the speed of light, and the fee wasn't compromised really. It's the only blockchain on planet Earth that can handle millions of transactions without the fees going to crazy amounts, which is why it will be the hub for AI agents, unless something new and better comes out. And I believe AI agents will trade on Solana 24/7, and this is the NVIDIA. It could flip Ethereum in this whole grand scheme of things. It can overtake Ethereum in value. And I believe that can happen. The next million users will come via Solana, and then the humans will be using it at the same time, and it will snowball into everyone using Solana again, and people thinking, okay, that's 2 cycles in a row. This is the most valuable layer 1 in the whole market. And I believe this will happen because, like I said, the cheap fees, and these agents will be trading 24/7 on it. And you need Solana, because if you have millions of transactions on Ethereum, the fees will increase dramatically and it will become unaffordable, almost like a broken toaster to make your toast. Whereas with Solana, what you're going to see is you're going to see millions of transactions not affect the fee, which is what makes it the opposite of banks. Cheap, fast, permissionless, no regulation really in the Trump administration. And yeah, this is going to be where things happen. What are going to be the other projects that benefit from this? There's only 2 projects that can beat NVIDIA, meaning the biggest company in this. And it's not Bitcoin, it's Ethereum or Solana. And for me, it's Solana. But these are your contenders to be the most valuable crypto company in the world potentially from this. Then you go into what else will do well. And the answer is Coinbase. And the stock is down quite high from all-time highs. And it may drop more, it's down roughly 50%. But the reason why Coinbase is so huge is because they have the default retail platform. Retail will always onboard into crypto via Coinbase. Coinbase also have institutional partnerships, so they may bring in OpenAI, Microsoft, and all of these big companies into the crypto AI revolution, especially if AI agents are mainly in crypto. A lot of these companies will want a piece of crypto finally. And Coinbase is the only one with the partnerships, right? But on top of that, Coinbase have already launched agentic wallets, where the first ever wallet infrastructure built for AI agents. So it gives the agents the power of a wallet, lets them manage funds, hold and transact on-chain without any human intervention. You can just leave your AI agent to make you money. You can give it $100 and it may be $10,000 the week later because they've been following trades and trading 24/7 and learning in the process. So Coinbase already know this, they're ahead of the game. And we know that all new users in crypto with $100, they use Coinbase. So they're going to onboard with their agent wallet on Coinbase, put $100 on, and Coinbase is just going to benefit from all of the volume in the Coinbase wallet. So Coinbase is a massive, massive beneficiary of this. The next one is Circle, and this is stocks, by the way, not crypto. Circle is the company behind the stablecoin USDC. And we know for a fact stablecoins are going to be transacted more than everything because they already are in crypto. And stablecoins are coins that are pegged to a dollar, right? I believe we're going to see USDT and USDC transacted at a record rate. And that means Circle, who are behind USDC, are going to have to issue more currency. And what is a commodity in a world where you have 1 million new users trading 24/7 with stablecoins? The answer is the underlying currency. So if you want to invest into the currency layer, the actual commodity that's being used by the product, you would invest into Circle and they will capture a ton of value. And because they're a stock, we'll be looking at their revenue and their revenue would explode and people will start valuing them very, very high. I mean, I think the all-time high valuation is roughly $30 billion. This will go into the hundreds of billions of dollars, probably 200 billion plus. Like this will be a 10x from these levels, in my opinion, minimum, if this thesis plays out, which I'm very confident it will. So this is a massive benefit. You've got the company issuing the currency and the company issuing the wallets and also issuing the partnerships and the institutional capital. So this is big. You're already seeing the NVIDIAs which are needed, ETH and Sol. Then the next layer is kind of like, who else can we not live without here? Who else is going to benefit? And it's these two. And then there's a bunch of other cryptos which I think are going to benefit massively from this. And this is my list. I want to explain each one why. So Ethereum and Solana is very obvious. They're the base layer for all of this. and they're offering the block space, which is the thing you can't build without. Then you have Hyperliquid, and Hyperliquid is a perp dex that everyone trades on. A lot of these prompters are going to get their AI agents to be traders, and the only place they're going to be trading on is Hyperliquid. It's the hub. You need no KYC. You don't need to set up your picture of your face and your passport. You just get the AI agent to rock on, do it all, give them a wallet, and from there, you essentially get even more volume on Hyperliquid, and they use that to buy back their token and to burn. So as a result, this is going to do amazing numbers. Also another 10x opportunity in my opinion. Chainlink is one that can do well because it's mainly data. If the AI agents need data to the external world, they will use Chainlink. So for that reason, Chainlink can do well, but I'm not as bullish on Chainlink as I am on the others for this. Tau will also do well. This is a learning ecosystem for AI agents. So if you want your AI agent to learn, you can deploy it on Tau, and it can get access to loads of information on chain automatically, and it will improve. So it's almost like training the models, and Tau will do that. And another thing we've learned about crypto is it's not always what has the best utility, it's what has the coolest narrative. You can see memes have no utility, they pumped. If AI agents are the new memes, you need a platform that's linked directly to AI, and that is Tau. I think Tau can also 10x from here, if I'm honest. Another platform that will do well is Aave. And Aave will do well because Aave is the biggest lending platform in DeFi. So if these AI agents are doing lending, borrowing, using collateral, which they will do, by the way, then you're going to see a loss of usage on Aave. And again, their volume will increase, their revenue will increase. Then you have Jupiter. If Solana is the base layer for all of this, Jupiter's the exchange. So every time a token is swapped, you've got 1 million new users swapping on Jupiter, which means more revenue to Jupiter because of the fees. More volume, more revenue, like we keep saying. And the other two outside bets, these two, they're actually building AI agents. And so are some others, but FET are in a very good position because they're 3 AI companies blended together. They have good connections in crypto. I think this can do very well in an AI agent scenario. And OLAS is like a degen bet. This is $8 million market cap. It's very low, but they're also building out AI agents. And if they somehow do this right, this could be a 100x investment opportunity in the right conditions. But yeah, that's pretty much my list. I genuinely think Ethereum and Solana are going to reach valuations people don't believe. I believe the next huge beneficiaries are Coinbase, Circle for some stock exposure. And if we're talking crypto, I mean, my 3 big bets here would be Hyperliquid, Tau, and Aave. And then for more risk, I'd take Jupiter, FET, and OLAS, Autonolas. And all of these projects could do incredible in this scenario. And the whole scenario just makes so much sense to me. Everyone's sitting there thinking, are memes going to come back? And the answer is no, they're done. Like, yeah, there'll be pockets of outperformance, but in reality, guys, meme coins today are NFTs 4 years ago. The hype is gone. Whereas now, the next hype is AI agents. And it may not come tomorrow. It may not come in a month. But one thing we do know is there are millions and millions of agents who need a home to trade and fulfill certain use cases. And the only way to do that is on the blockchain. And these are the blockchains that will capture value from this directly because they're unavoidable in the process of AI doing day-to-day tasks. So just bear that in mind. I'm not buying anything yet. I am not giving investment advice, obviously. All I'm doing here is preparing you best for the most likely outcome. And the most likely outcome is the most scary outcome. AI agents are coming and there's nothing we can do about it.